I love that.
And boundaries are really useful. They can sometimes have a negative connotation, but boundaries are really only something that we can do for ourselves. Boundaries is not about placing a rule on somebody else because you cannot control somebody else's behavior, only yourself. And they're actually there to help us be in relationship with people, like how to have strong boundaries with someone that might feel difficult to us or we feel kind of impacts our peace in certain ways, but we still want to be able to come to a space to be around them. That's what boundaries actually allow us to do versus just like the version of ghosting or like cutting people off.
Hey y'all, we're back and I'm excited about this week. I am so excited. I have one of my good girlfriends, like my grandma would say, here joining us today. I'm never gonna tell you her name first because we gotta do Bible talk, we gotta do all of this stuff. But before we were setting up, maybe I should introduce her. Let's do something different this week because I gotta tell the funny story, but she has to be a part of the funny story because I don't know whether to be insulted, honored, offended, shocked. I don't know what to feel. But we're going to get there. This week, I am joined by the beautiful Ajaa Jackson. Ajaa is a businesswoman. She is a humanitarian. She's a mother. She's a wife. She's getting ready to start a brand new journey, which we'll talk about. I'm not going to, go too deep into that. But above any accolades that I could name, she is one of the most solid people that I know. Y'all know here on The Proper View, we talk to real people that you can reach out and touch, right? That was the thing about Jesus. He was touchable, right? That's why the woman with the issue of blood could touch him. He's touchable. He was reachable, right? And so I'm passionate about having conversations with people that just feel like home, right? That are reachable, that are touchable. So we're going to break the mold a little bit this week because we are going to do Bible moment, you know that. But before we do that, please help me welcome my friend Ajaa Jackson. Hey, girl!
Oh, thank you so much. Oh, now I got to hug you again.
You got to hug me!
Oh,
she loves to hug me, even though she said it like that. She loves it.
I do.
Yes.
I love a good hug.
And before we get to, I gotta send this to the girls' group chat.
The girls.
I gotta send it to the girls.
I already knew you were going to.
Let me tell you something about Ajaa though. We have another friend in our girls' group chat named Tasha, and they went to Beyonce. Was it Beyonce?
We did go to Beyonce.
Oh look, they go to Beyonce. They go to Beyonce. They went to Cleo Soul.
We did.
Who else? Y'all went to a white person too. Who was it?
She ain't white.
She
might look like Snow Allegra. That was our first
No, that's what
concert.
it was. It was the Snow. Sorry.
Yeah. And our husbands were at that one. That was the first time we
met.
met.
They brought their husband. But guess who they did not tell? The rest of the people in the group chat. We ain't been invited to Beyonce. We ain't been invited to Cleo or Snow. It's sad out here. But I was invited to the R&B festival.
Yes.
But then they made me leave before Bow Wow.
I did lose my voice by that time. I do think it was time to go.
No, they was running late. So it's not entirely.
They were running very late.
Yeah, but I had to stay and watch Maya, who I love, but I couldn't see Bow Wow. Little Bow Wow, you just don't know. I think he did that song too.
He probably did.
I think
we
he
missed
did.
Omarion also.
Omarion. Oh. You ain't no good. Look, I can't even find the group chat. That's probably God telling me, because
it is actually.
Oh,
this isn't the time.
It's not the time nor the place. All right, while I'm sending this to the group chat, sent. I'm so excited. I gotta tell y'all what happened to me. So as y'all know, Andre, Douglas, Devin, and Kevin are here, and Ajaa's here. I need you to tell me, and the reason why this is important with Ajaa, because Ajaa is very level-headed sometimes. And she will tell me if I'm tripping. So I'm 32 years old. Okay. I know I look 21, but I'm 32 years old. And I got a little bit of an old soldier. But we have a ministry at our church called the Seasoned Sisters.
I'm sorry. You said seasoned.
Seasoned
I
sisters.
want to make sure.
Yes, that's the ministry, right? That's the ministry. Seasoned.
Well,
now
we
we all know
starting off strong,
what
so-
seasoned mean. What? They got some life to it, you know.
A different word for something else they might not want to be called.
It precisely salt and pepper shakers. Okay, salt and pepper shakers. So last Sunday, one of the leader of the seasoned sisters, she comes up to me and she says, "You're going out to eat with us, right?" And I said, "Oh, yeah, I'm gonna go." And I'm thinking, oh, it's just gonna be some ladies getting together. So we go to lunch, and I quickly realize that I have been recruited to be in the seasoned sisters ministry. And guess what the first requirement to be in the seasoned sisters is? You got to be 50 years old. Oh, Jesus. I said, well, how I get in it, right? And then not only did they put me in seasoned sisters.
Wait,
and,
they don't ask for people to opt in?
Oh, it was a your seasoned sisters, and each of the seasoned sisters, each of the y'all wrong. Each of the seasoned sisters, they get named after a seasoning. They done told me mine is sage. I said, wow, I can't even be Laurie's, adobo, Cajun, something a little fresher. You take me back to the ancient times.
Basil.
Basil, a little something, mint, sage. Jesus used that.
Did they tell you why?
Because they said I'm an old soul.
That doesn't seem like a prerequisite, though.
The prerequisite was 50. But I'm a part of the senior seat. Shut up, Devin. I'm a part of
Oh, so you agreed?
I don't think I had a choice.
You have a choice.
And you know what's crazy about it? Kevin's sitting right over there. And guess what, B.
Kevin,
Reed?
does she have a choice?
That's Natasha's the one. Do I have a choice? No, I don't have a choice. So, and you know what's crazy for you to ask Kevin? B. Reed, we have a friend, B. Reed. She just told me this morning that Kevin said I was on the mother's board.
Wait, is this true?
No, I ain't on the mother's board.
Why you come for her like that?
Our church don't even have a mother's board. We have the seasoned sister. Oh, Lord. Well, am I tripping? Like, I'm on the seasoned sisters. So now you got to invite me to Beyonce because I'm your elder.
We're going to go somewhere, but it's not Beyonce.
It's not. What, who? Shirley Caesar? I got to go to Shirley.
I was going to say like one of those throwback gospel tours. Or like Israel and Kirk. Like, we just going to take you to...
You start rediscovering Jesus and they put you on the mother's board. I couldn't even be an usher. I had to go be a mother. Wow. Oh, let me get my 27 piece together. All right.
Well, you didn't put that in the group chat, so I'll make sure.
I'll
that...
never put it in the group chat.
I'll start it for you so that you can tell the story.
Wow. It says that, in the Bible, it says that Satan is an accuser of the brethren. You are not doing the Lord's work. Okay, y'all, I'm so sorry. We had to. So now y'all know I'm a part of Seasoned Sisters at Deeper Church LA at 32 years old. Okay, that's okay. It's okay. But here, let's talk about the Lord. One of the reasons why when I was sitting with God and I was like, Ajaa is on this show. And as I've told the story before, when this show was coming, when it came to me, it came in 20 minutes. And I first met Ajaa at a company that we worked for. I almost said it, but I think
we should probably leave it out.
Yeah, I'm going to leave that out. For my business interests, I'm going to leave that out. And I was laid off from that job. And I was in a season of, okay, well, what's next? What do I do next? What do I do next? And within 20 minutes after praying that prayer, I had the name of the show, what the show was about, every single guest, and what they would be talking about. It was all within 20 minutes. And I was thinking about Ajaa and thinking about the season and the boldness and the bravery that she has betrayed in this season of her life and the season she just came out of. And it reminded me a lot of Moses and Midian. And there are a few places in scripture we can reference. They're longer, so as you know, If it's a long scripture, we encourage you to go into your private time and study it. So I won't read it all in its entirety, but some reference points for you to look at today is Exodus 2:11 through 25. And that's when Moses flees Egypt and goes into Midian. We'll talk about that in a second. And then the second is Numbers 31, the entire chapter. The Bible's a good book. I know it's Numbers. I know it's the Old Testament, but I promise you it's good. From one sister to the next, it's good. Numbers 31. And that's when Moses later has to lead Israel into conquering Midian, when God makes it clear to Moses that he's going to have to do that. And what is so powerful about Midian for Moses is we all know that Moses was a murderer, and he murders an Egyptian because he sees that Egyptian is mistreating an Israelite, and he flees to Midian. If you look up Midian, first of all, not only does it sound like the middle, right, like Midian middle, it sounds very similar. The word Midian means judgment and strife, but it also means covering. Right? So while Moses was there, it was a place of covering for him. It was a place where he was protected, where he was edified, where he was grown into the leader. It's the place where he first encountered God, right? It was a birthing place in a lot of ways for him. It was a womb. It was a safe place. But later, he then had to go in and destroy it, because it became a place that could keep him and his people out of the promise. And how often in our lives do we have places that serve as blessings in one season, but then turn out to be something that we have to destroy in the next, right? And typically that will happen when we stay past the expiration date. Right? When we know that we are being called to move into another territory, to move on, right? Break camp, move on. We've talked about all that before, probably. I don't know the order. Terrell says that, right? But we may have talked about that before, where we talk about breaking camp, moving on, going into new land. But what happens when we don't do it? When we stay? And the place that was a place of nourishment, which was a place of edification, turns out to be a place that is killing us, right? Midian had to be destroyed because of sexual immorality. It had to be. If it wasn't, then it was going to cause for even more people to die within that camp. It had to be destroyed because of disobedience and sexual immorality. And so imagine being Moses, because, I'm all about let's make it human. Imagine being Moses, and these are your people, right? These are the people that covered you and helped you, and your wife, all them people are from this place. This was your breeding ground for a long time. But then you had to go out and destroy it because it was killing what you had to go in and conquer. It was going to keep you away from your promise, right? That's what we're here to talk to Ajaa about. What happens when we stay too long? And then how do we know it's time to move on? And then how do we actually do it? You ready, Ajaa?
I'm ready.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
I'm going to be.
I know that's right. Ajaa is so nervous, but watch her. She's about to knock it out the park, because that's what my girl does, okay? So first question. How do we discern after something that once felt like a blessing? Right? And we could talk about a little bit about that position where we met each other, right? Something that once felt like a blessing. How do we know that it has now become a burden and something that we have to kill and move on from?
Yeah, so I think it starts in our body.
Ooh.
Our body is telling us a lot of unspoken things that we may not be ready to hear, that we can't let go of. So for me, I would say some of it even just shows up in questioning, like, is this really the right space? Mentally, where are you at? How it comes up physically as anxiety, lack of sleep, waking up in the middle of the night with just like thoughts of what is really the next thing? Why am I showing up in this place? Like, how is it of service any longer? And then using that as basically the barometer to be like, it's time to get quiet, like really seeking the Lord. So spending time in prayer and asking for the discernment, essentially. Like, I think it comes to us when we ask for the voice of God. And also we're in a place where we're quiet enough to say, like, help give me clear signs to understand what that looks like.
Yeah. And that comes
And it doesn't happen fast.
Uh-oh. Wait, you're being prophetic. You're being prophetic. Talk more. Talk more. And you don't even know how prophetic you're being. It doesn't happen fast. Tell us more.
It doesn't happen fast. So in my experience, because I only have my lived experience, I was clear. Obviously, we met each other at a startup, but I've spent my career working in financial services, so almost 13 years. And I was clear even 5 years ago, 6 years ago, like, this space is actually not for me. However, I do not have a clear path or door of what the next thing is. And I was not necessarily willing to just do anything. So that turned into a time of, Lord, what am I supposed to be learning while I'm still here? What am I still supposed to be open to that I don't have insight on yet, that I need to take into the next season to have some of that patience, even though internally I still had a sense of like, I'm kind of ready to just go do the next thing because I already have this kind of burn for something else, because I am starting to learn myself enough and who I am to the point of understanding your gifts as well as your faith gifts and like what the Lord has gifted you and like how to actually show up and use that. So that's what I mean by fast. Like, I actually was clear 5 or 6 years ago that I was in a space that was not for me. And that came by way of understanding, like, I no longer had aspirations in trying to get bigger roles, or like some of the leadership that I was around. I didn't aspire to like the lifestyles that they had. I didn't aspire to the type of work that they were working on, or just the way that they kind of showed up. That wasn't what I envisioned for myself.
Yeah. How did you know that it wasn't just their leadership style, but more so that thing that you were no longer aligned with?
I knew I wasn't aligned because I don't think I could put it into words at that time. And I could put it into more words now that just, I'm a bit more like human centric than maybe I even realized at that time. And I was not doing the type of work that was allowing me to work in my gifts of being of service to others. Like, yes, I was being of service in these businesses, and I was helping to achieve like certain goals or frameworks or strategies or KPIs, whatever acronym we want to use today, that were being set out. And I was working with very great, nice people. It just was not actually allowing me to see like, how am I basically bringing God to my work? Like, I wasn't seeing the benefit of how I was showing up and doing this particular type of work benefiting the kingdom.
Yes, that's so good. Before I go into one of the biggest lessons you taught me there, I'm gonna keep it real, okay? Your strategy of like 5 to 6 years, I can't. How did you not make an impulsive decision to say, I'm just not gonna do this anymore? This isn't for me and I'm done. How did you not react impulsively within knowing how you felt?
I think just seeing the bigger picture, like there's a lot of other elements involved in decision making that I don't think, it can be hard in a short context like this, but just like your family background, what is your financial situation, like who are you helping to support, who is helping to support you. At that time, I was also in a long distance relationship. That's why I live in Los Angeles now with my now husband. And we were traveling back and forth between California and Arizona, and we did that for about 5 years. And I also was just very clear, too, that like I wasn't willing to move to California until I was married. And so there was just all these kind of other factors in relation to like, well, when would I really look to try to make a move based on where I saw the trajectory of like our life going, because I was very clear that like he was my life partner. He is a very strong human being and godly man, and so that was always clear for me.
I love that. Something that you're teaching me, even in this conversation, and we've been friends for what, 3-4 years now, something crazy like that. Because it's been so, like, it doesn't feel like
I know it's fast.
It's so fast. Something that you're teaching me too is that a part of this process of going from Midian to, you know, getting ready to conquer Canaan, right? Which is it's really kind of the theme for this season if we think about it. That's crazy. It just hit me. Like, a part of that is boundaries, right? But like, not only boundaries in the workplace or boundaries in a certain area of your life, but boundaries with yourself. Can you talk us through what your process is of setting boundaries so that you can kind of counteract impulsivity?
I would say it's been learning. So I wouldn't say I've always had this. I have been in some interesting situations, I think, like many young women, and not great relationships.
We do our best.
We do our best with what we have. So does everybody, including our parents and many people around us. And I spent a lot of time, I think, just sometimes in a faith community, we can lean a bit just on like, okay, we pray and go to God, but he also did create all these other humans with all these other amazing gifts and skills. And I started therapy for the first time a little over 10 years ago when I got out of a really bad relationship, which I didn't even realize was going to be like the seed of a future trajectory to what I'm on now, of being open to seeking like outside help. And that is what has helped me get tools to create boundaries.
I love that.
And boundaries are really useful. They can sometimes have a negative connotation, but boundaries are really only something that we can do for ourselves. Boundaries is not about placing a rule on somebody else, because you cannot control somebody else's behavior, only yourself. And they're actually there to help us be in relationship with people, like how to have strong boundaries with someone that might feel difficult to us, or we feel kind of impacts our peace in certain ways, but we still want to be able to come to a space to be around them. That's what boundaries actually allow us to do, versus just like the version of ghosting or like cutting people off.
I used to be a cut-offer.
We all have.
I'd be like, deuces, chucking the, what's Chris Brown say?
Well, you also kind of can't help it. You're a Gemini, so I know you got a little of that.
Honey, I'm a child of God. I don't even know what you mean by that, right? Because we're
the people that follow the zodiacs.
Right, they know. I don't even know. How do you set godly boundaries though? Because, and the reason why I'm asking that is because I'm in this weird place with my boundaries where I'm like, and maybe I'm gaslighting myself a little bit, so please tell me if I am, where I'm like, oh, you triggered something in me, I need a boundary, but the boundary is because I might be a little emotionally immature in this area, right? And so now I'm setting parameters for something that probably just needs a little bit of healing and attention. So how do I differentiate that part of it and then set a godly boundary? And
I think you actually, I feel like you just answered your own
what did I say?
Question.
What did I say?
That you even have the awareness that there might be something root level, like foundational, that is bringing up maybe a level of emotional immaturity in you that is leading to a particular behavior.
Yeah.
That's the thing to go explore. And that's what I mean by the setting of godly boundaries. Like, yes, seeking God and the stories in the Bible. Like, I'm really big on Bible plans. I know you are too. So like, across all the different seasons of this like 5-6 years, I've been doing a lot of different Bible plans, and I search specific based on like what I'm going through, like career transition, like motherhood, like how to find my calling, like how to create strong habits in my daily life, and how that shows up in so many different places, including our relationships, in our families, in workplaces, and so many other places. but then actually digging into what is actually causing that for you, and then how do you extract that root, because a root is if you don't get like the root of a weed, it's just gonna grow back.
It's gonna grow back.
It's always
and
going to grow
its cousins
back.
are coming.
And its cousins are coming. So you have all these beautiful plants in here that you trim and take care of, but the foundation of them is everything in their roots is how they grow.
So then talk to me about that. Talk to me about the extraction process, because even in facials, extractions hurt. That's the part of the facial that I do not. Every time she says, "Am I ready?" I say no, because extractions do not feel good. So talk to me more about the extraction process, right?
I know. Well, I was about to cuss because an F word hurts. Yes, it is extremely, extremely painful. But no one sees that hard part. It's just like what we talk about in this season of life, like with social media, like people are posting their highlight reels. Like no one is seeing me cry for 2 hours straight uncontrollably about some decision or how I'm feeling, which was something that happened the week I chose to quit the job that we were at. Like just the level of anxiety that I was holding in my body. I don't even think I realized how bad it was, and how really I was probably way past where I should have made the decision to go. But I was still in a season of like just doing a lot of praying, having a lot of conversations with Anthony about what I think was coming up for me, where I think I'm trying to move, even though I didn't have a ton of clarity. I just knew I'm really clear. I want to work with moms because I've had this specific, unique experience that so many other women have. And there is still a part of you that's like, you want to just keep going with what you have because you do believe it's a blessing. Like I am in a position that I never could have dreamt up for myself, which is how I know it's God. Yeah. Like I never had any of these visions for my own life, and everything that I've accomplished, I never believed I could have done on my own, nor did I even think was possible. I was just trying to move out of a small town in southern Arizona by the Mexican border, and just glad to move to Phoenix because that was like the big city, and even go to college. Like I didn't even know that I was going to get a 4-year degree. Like I was at a community college, I got my degree, and I was ready to just go to work on the military base because that's where people worked.
Wow, look at God. Because that's nothing.
It's nothing like what my life is like.
Wow.
Nothing.
I want to talk about that 5 to 6 years where you knew that, hey, this isn't right, but then it took 5 to 6 years in order for you to kind of get on a different path. How in that 5 to 6 years did you not get discouraged?
I didn't get discouraged because God was still showing up in all of those spaces. Like there were still immense blessings even within that period of time. And being able to really look at the facts of what is happening in life. So like to your point about, is this like emotional immaturity kind of showing up in me? Some of the questions I ask myself is this just like a feeling that I have? Or like what is true in this scenario? Like what has God actually given me? And that's a lot of what I learned through the Bible plans, which I've been able to do some journaling where you can actually write down like, no, he's done this, he's done this, he's done this, he's done this. And when you start writing down all the things that have happened in your life, then it becomes clear like, oh, we are moving on a path even when it does feel stagnant.
Yeah.
There is actually still movement.
Yeah, there is. You remind me of an old hymn that maybe I do need to be on the season 6. You never failed me yet. You know that one?
I'm not sure.
Can't turn around. We've come this far. Honey, that's a good one. I'm going to have to take you to the Baptist church. Okay, because we're going to get you to learn these hymns.
You know, I did not grow up in the Baptist church.
It's okay, me. Well, it's a long story.
It's a very long story.
But God, well, as you were talking, God showed me his goodness.
How?
Because we are sitting on this couch in God's plans. You're going to talk a little bit more about how you're now in God's plan. I'm now in God's plan. And how we both left Midian are 2 different ways. And God is showing that in both ways, he will supply all of our needs. I was forced out of Midian, and you chose to leave, but we were both in the same place, right? I've shared with you guys that, not I haven't shared with them, I've shared with y'all that I knew that I was supposed to leave 6 months before I left that place. And I had got to the place where I wasn't even showering. Like, I didn't know how sad and depressed I was at that place until I was forced out. And then I was like, whoa, this is what life is. And then you, on the other end of it, were experiencing a very similar feeling and then chose to leave. And in both situations, whether it's a force out or it's a choice, God's grace is sufficient. And I'm just so grateful to God, because here we're sitting on this table with two different experiences that involve the same place, and the covering is still the covering.
Oh, 100%.
The covering is still the covering. Talk to us about, because you talked a lot about like finding your calling. Yeah. Talk to us about where you at right now. Where you at?
Yeah, so I think some context for people that don't know the full story. So
Yes.
my son is almost 2.5 this summer.
Baby Kai.
Baby Kai. And I have now been in Los Angeles coming up on 3 years this summer. So I lived in Arizona my entire life. This is the first time I've never lived by my family and just out of the state where I'm from. And also had a family not by my family. So all of that context to say, like, we're doing this kind of nucleus family kind of on our own, and that's not how families are really meant to thrive. Like, you really do need a village.
Yeah.
And when you don't have, like, that immediate family, anybody has to figure out, like, how to create their village. So I did work with a doula who is literally my angel on earth and now just my soul sister. So I did go see her in
And
March.
she's about to have a baby. Or did she have?
She's about to have a baby. She's due in a few weeks, but
Yes.
she moved back to the East Coast where she's from, so I had the chance to go visit her.
Yes.
But yes, had a very challenging postpartum experience. So my husband did miss our birth. That was like a very big...
Wait, no, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I did not know Anthony missed it.
Yeah, he missed it. There was a lot of things happening. I don't know if if I had a stress-induced labor or if I was in labor and just missed all the signs. There was just a mixture of things happening. But I think I actually had a level of just anxiety I was not taking care of, and nor were my providers helping me identify. Like, that was a lot of change at once. I went from a really large organization to a startup. I had just started a new job. A few months later, I found out I was pregnant. I moved while I was in my first trimester. I'm trying to meet people out here. You know, I'm growing a baby. I'm in a neighborhood I'm not familiar with that, you know, there's just homeless and things that I didn't have to deal with before, and I just felt very vulnerable. There was just so many different factors. Then obviously my husband travels for work, so he's gone every week. And by the time I realized how far along I was and I made the call with my doula for him to come home, even though he got on the next flight, that next flight still didn't get him home fast enough. So it was me and my doula laboring at my house, and we get to the hospital. And I really was in my mind just like, oh man, your dad's on the way. Like, if I could make my body hold this baby in, I would, but I got to the hospital, my water broke, and I had Kai within 20 minutes of arriving. And then Anthony joined us about an hour later. Wow. Yes. So I do think there is still something between our relationship and just like maybe some of the disconnect even in postpartum, like him not actually physically being there to see what you go through, because the mother is also being birthed at the same time, not just the baby. You are a completely new person. I'm Ajaa, but I am not the same person. After having
what was
a child.
birthed in you while you were birthing Kai?
An immense amount of strength and clarity, because when you have this little human that is literally a part of you and is still inside of you, like all those cells lived inside of you and grew inside of you that now get to live earthside, that the Lord is allowing us to shepherd in this life. Like, he is not his. We are just the people that are here to keep him safe and guide him on the path he's supposed to go on. But at the beginning, he needs you for everything. Yeah. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts around that. And how you're going to make sure to show up for him is, like, everything else kind of, like, falls by the wayside. So all the things, to your point, where maybe you would be super merciful or gracious over certain things, but, like, yeah, now, like, I'm not going to let people walk over me around certain things. Like, you start to create different kind of boundaries. Like, you do kind of get this protective, like, mama bear situation happening. But through that, I had pretty intense postpartum anxiety and a bit postpartum depression. We also got displaced from our home, so I think that made it really, really challenging at 6 weeks. Kai was 6 weeks by the time we had to leave our apartment. And then I didn't get into postpartum therapy until Kai was about 4 months old. So I was 4 months postpartum, and honestly, I think I was 4 months too late. Like, I should have been in it weeks after I had him, because all the things you're trying to navigate and go through, which I think is so important for women to understand, like, it's nothing that we did. There is no one to blame for why you have it or not. 1 in 5 women get postpartum depression. That is just a fact.
Wow.
1 in 5 women get postpartum depression. That is just an actual fact. And perinatal mood disorders are actually more reasons why there's complications in pregnancies than even just like gestational diabetes, which is like normal things OBs do tests about, but they're not testing your like mental state. There's just still stigma a bit around mental health across kind of the systems, but yeah, about 20% of women even during pregnancy will have some symptoms of it beforehand.
Can you talk about, if you're comfortable, so anything I'm about to ask you, if you're not comfortable, we don't have to.
Yeah.
We don't have to. Can you, because I sometimes, you're my friend, so you know I struggle with words that can become buzzwords. So even like narcissism, like all that, like I struggle because I'm like, what exactly
does it mean?
Is that? So can you talk more about like what is postpartum? What is postpartum anxiety? Like what is this?
Yeah, so it can feel like, so like something specific in postpartum anxiety. Like people kind of give you these cliches, oh, sleep when the baby sleeps. You are so wound up, your brain is so wound up at any time, day or night, you cannot get your body settled enough to actually get any rest. Like this is how it's showing up in your body. One of the things for me, which was just kind of on the spectrum of things, is I had really, really bad nightmares. Like even when I was in the bed by myself, I would wake up in sweat because I thought my baby had suffocated in the blankets. But he wasn't in the room.
Can we get a napkin, please?
And just uncontrollable crying that you can't get yourself out of.
Thank you.
I would just cry for 3 hours straight, and I couldn't function. You know, and as much as you have a partner around that wants to help, it's just they also don't know the signs of it or just what's happening, and then you don't have language to articulate like what you're feeling or even understand what you need to ask for it. So it's very isolating.
What was the thing that made you say, I need help?
Actually, a family friend. This woman is basically like family to Anthony, like a sister to her. Their families grew up together. He's her kid's godfather. She made a trip out specifically to check on me. So she had met the baby pretty early on while we were still working with our doula. Kai was probably like 4 or 5 weeks old. And she made a trip back out, and she was like, I'm coming while Anthony's not there because I just want to see how you're doing. Because I could kind of tell, like, it was not a good situation when she stopped by our house to, like, meet the baby. And in conversation with her, I got the chance to express just all the things I was feeling, and she luckily is also a mom of 2 and just has also had her own experience and kind of just helped me think through, like, what is actually kind of happening that maybe I couldn't put any words around. But, I mean, I just felt completely lost. I was afraid to be alone. Because Anthony does travel, he went back to work when Kai was about 4 weeks old, and I was extremely anxious being by myself with Kai, and I was just literally trying to find like kind of anybody in the community that I could kind of see throughout the day so I wasn't alone with him, because I was I was afraid for myself. Not that I thought I would really do something to him, but you do have intrusive thoughts of like something happening because you're being negligent, or that you even just have thoughts of like, oh, if I turn weird this way and he hits his head on this corner, like those are very normal things of like postpartum anxiety that women could experience. And then I also had a woman that was more of an acquaintance that I ended up spending time with, and I was talking to some therapy centers. I was considering checking myself into an inpatient clinic. Yeah, and she just helped me realize, even though I was considering an inpatient option, that what I was experiencing was very, very normal. Like, so I didn't know all this information going into it, like how common postpartum anxiety was and postpartum depression. And although you go to your 6-week postpartum appointment and your OB gives you a survey, basically like an Edinburgh survey, where you have like a score that would show if you're depressed or not, which, you know, you can lie on.
With those things. I hate those things. Yeah.
And if they don't ask you more questions to go deeper, and because you're not in your home, like you're going out of your way, like maybe you do put yourself together to just show face to go to this one doctor's appointment, but there is no true like postpartum care in our healthcare system. Like a one visit checkup 6 weeks after a baby is not what's going to save your life, and most of the challenges with like post-birth deaths is like days or a few weeks after.
Wow.
And this is when things are really, really challenging. So there's just a lot of gaps, but with that there are a lot of different organizations and just groups trying to help create more support and service for women, which has been really exciting to see. But those are like some of the examples of like what that actually could look like versus just like a buzzword.
Yeah, and what we'll do too for any mothers, we'll put in the description, we'll put some of those organizations. I'm going to ask for Aja's help. But some of those organizations, I'll link them below. I want to talk to you because there's, by the grace of God, there will be mothers watching this episode who are still in the space of receiving those nightmares and also having that anxiety about hitting the baby's head, or can I be alone with this baby? Can you give her just a few helpful tips that can create some distance between that moment and herself? If she's feeling that right now, what are just a couple of things she can do to make sure that she and the baby are safe and well?
Yes. Really just, there's a bit of a stigma around only focusing on the care of the baby, but we have to be well, and we have to figure out in a safe way and what works for our families in the situations that we are in our environment, how to still kind of fill our cup to take some of those steps. So for instance, if you're like overwhelmed by the baby crying, it is much safer for you to put your baby in their crib or bassinet and let them cry for 10 minutes if you need to step into a room by yourself and collect yourself. You are both in a much safer position by being able to take up some of that space to try to slow it down. That might not always be available. And this is where I think we have to figure out what our village looks like to have conversations. So if you do not have a therapist, that's my number one suggestion. But Postpartum Support International is a great organization that has a lot of free resources and peer-supported resources. Like if you just want to go talk to like peer groups that are experiencing something very specific, and they have a lot of inclusive support and different helplines. If you're comfortable having the conversation with your partner about what you are kind of experiencing, and then they might be able to openly have a dialogue about how they can show up to help support, to give you some space through that. But it's not going to necessarily, I think, be an overnight fix. And I think that's important to understand too. Like, one, it's very common to have these feelings, but they also are not just going to go away overnight. But with like a lot of time and care and treatment around them, you will work through what's happening.
That's so good. And you said the name of the organization with the free resources is
Postpartum Support International.
Postpartum Support International. I love that. Before I go into my next question, I want to just highlight, as someone who is a part of your community and someone who is a part of your village, I had no idea, right? And so I first want to say I'm sorry because I didn't know. And if I knew, I'm sitting here and I'm like, I don't even know that I would have known how to help. What can you say to those who may be watching, who may have a new mother in their village, in their community? How do we see the signs? And then once we see them, thank God for Anthony's sister, right? How do we offer help in a way that feels godly and loving and not intrusive and controlling?
Yes. Obviously, this still has to go with like whatever the woman or the gestational person that had the baby, or if it's somebody that adopted, like anybody can have some of these things come up.
Adopted mothers can have it too. Wow.
It's a very big transition, bringing a baby into a house. And there's a lot of different levels of mental things that can happen for any type of person, not even just the person that birthed and all the hormones that are going through their body. One, just checking on them and not, to your point, not being intrusive, but it can't be this open-ended, like, let me know what you need, because we do not have the language to express to you what we need. And it sounds simple, like, oh, you should, like, you know, you're this grown adult that has done all these things. Like, how can you not know? You do not know, because this is so foreign and so new. And there was no other way for you to have prepared for what it's actually really going to feel like. Even if people told you stories, even if you read the books, even if you did the classes with people. But being more specific, like, hey, I'm available on Thursday. I'd love to just drop off dinner for you. Would you like a home-cooked meal, or do you want me to DoorDash you something? Like, that would be a way, I feel like, to show up, because some of the things that are hardest during postpartum, even if we can't get the mental health support, is just the exhaustion of trying to keep up with keeping yourself healthy, which is you're ravenous if you are chest feeding or using your breast to feed, and trying to keep up with actually eating when you're feeding a baby every 2-3 hours. And when you think about that, like a baby's first years, you're spending about 18 hours a day just on feeding. Time on the chest, time changing the diaper, time burping. So where do you get time for all those other things that also happen in life, where like you get some rest for your body to recover from this basically huge internal injury that has happened? Like if you got surgery, like when you went to help your mom, you're not expecting her to do all the things she normally does.
Even though she did.
Mama, gotta sit down.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're not expecting of the person that they're
Right.
doing all just the normal things. So that's the same thing for new
Wow.
moms. So that is a helpful way. Or just, hey, I'd love to come sit with you. I'd love to come watch a movie. Just being like an adult in the space.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be really, really big things. But like the I will come to you, I will help bring this to you is really, really helpful.
I thank you for that education, Ajaa, because I had no idea. Like, I had no idea that I knew that you shared with me that you had gone through postpartum, but like, and you were in that process, but I had no idea just how deep it had gotten. And so thank you so much. If you could just say, now I know I promise you, this is why I'm struggling, because I promise you would not have to look at that camera. But this was so good that I need you to look at the camera. Douglas is your camera, and
Okay.
I know I said it.
You did.
Okay.
And you going back on your word. But you know what?
I know.
I'm going to also give you grace, and I will look
Yes.
at the camera.
I need you to talk to, just like if she was sitting right here, a new mama, whether she's a first timer or not, because that also doesn't matter, right? A new mama who might be dealing with a lot of what you described. Can you just have a heart-to-heart with her?
Yeah. All right. Hey, mama, you are enough. You are exactly what this baby needs. You are providing a safe environment and comfort and love. And you deserve all of those things as well, so that you can show up as your best self. Whatever you were able to get done today was perfect and exactly what you were meant to do today. You can take it an hour at a time, a day at a time, just as slow as you need. Your body is healing. Don't believe bounce back culture. That does not exist. You are a miracle. Your baby is a miracle. And really be okay knowing if you have these feelings, it is not your fault. If you have any postpartum anxiety, any postpartum depression, 1 in 5 women have this. We do not talk about it enough. Your providers may not speak to you about this, but there are so many resources and people willing to help. If you're in Los Angeles, please look up resources with like Maternal Mental Health Now. Postpartum Support International is available everywhere. There are hotlines. There are peer groups. If you go to peer groups and talk to other moms and still are not feeling good, also still normal, because these are chemicals in your brain that are impacting how you might be showing up. And take the time that you need for yourself. And this does not go away overnight, but the sun will come and there will be a new day.
Can't you feel a brand new day? Yes! You see what? We needed you to talk to the camera. I have a surprise for you.
Uh-oh.
It's a game. And I know Ajaa.
I don't know about games.
And look, I know Ajaa. I sent episode guides to each of the guests. I know she read that thing. And
I did. I tried not to overdo it because you said don't memorize it. Don't prepare.
Because you see, this wasn't where we went. Was not what was in the episode, guys. I'm like, please do not prepare. But because this is what God needed. This is a game called Healing in a Minute. Now, Andre is ruthless.
Oh.
So, he don't play.
Okay.
So, if we don't get it done in a minute, right? I know. Sorry, Dre. If we don't get done in a minute, he's going to go bam, 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 or something like that. Okay. He has his own flair, you know? And so, we have 1 minute to get through 6 questions.
Well, that's a lot.
It's a lot. I know. And he's going to get us. Okay, tell us when we can start. We ready? 1 word to describe what it feels like to leave a safe space.
Oh, 1 word: freeing.
Freeing. What was scarier for you, staying or stepping out?
Stepping out.
Yes. A truth you held onto in your transition season.
Ooh, a truth. Oh, that's 1 word?
A truth. It can be more than 1 word.
I'd say a truth that I held on to is just God's faithfulness.
God's faithfulness. What surprised you most while healing from postpartum?
Gosh, I want to say everything.
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 I love that. What do you feel God is building in you now that you've moved and you're on the other side of it?
Oh, He is building... Oh, this is hard.
Oh, that's all right.
Dang.
That's all right. It's okay.
That's why you gotta give the questions ahead of time.
Just slap me up. It's okay. This was incredible. Thank you for being so vulnerable.
Thanks for having me.
Coming. You were. I hope this helped somebody. I know it helped me with the education around it, and I feel such a responsibility. I have 2 nieces that just had babies. They're less than a year old, like probably less than, one of them's less than 5 months old, and I just feel the responsibility to pick up the phone, right, and pay attention to what's happening. Thank you for the education and for the correction, and also even...
Ooh, can I add something?
Yes, please add. Is it to the camera or to me?
No, to you.
Okay.
I was gonna say, because postpartum, I would say think about it as like the full year post someone giving birth.
Wow. So it's not just those...
It's not those first few weeks that they say when you go get cleared at the doctor and, you can do some light physical activity. All that you can get all of those things come up even later. They don't even have to start once you first get home. Like you could start getting some of those symptoms 5 months in, 6 months in, 8 months in, just at different transition points. Because you left home and you went back to work and that transition spurred something. And now it's coming up.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Wow. For those of you that are like me, we got some phone calls to make. Mm-hmm. And it's okay. We're going to do great. And thank you for your forgiveness because, sis, I know. And I know you
You
would
don't
do
know
that.
something someone doesn't tell you. I had to apologize to my best friend too because her daughter's now 7, and I, besides dropping her off a meal, I just had no idea how to show up for her.
Yeah. That's why I think the work you're doing is so important, because you're teaching people how to show up for mothers and why. And I believe that sometimes God allows us to go through things so that we can birth out. And so I thank you even for doing the work that you're doing too, because it's incredible. It's incredible. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. Please, please, please share this with a new mother, because I know I know you know one. So send this out, and we will see you next week. And also, this was a heavy topic, so please take care of yourself. Thank you. I'll see you next week.